formal inquest into the deaths of 21 miners who died at the Enyobeni Tavern is set to start at the Mdantsane Regional Court this morning. They died under mysterious circumstances. This was in June 2022. Various autopsy reports have since been released, with the latest report stating asphyxiation as the cause of death. However, determining responsibility is the primary focus of the inquest. We cross live now to our reporter, Sipha Kema, who is at the Mdantsane Regional Court. Sipha, a good morning to you. Some might have assumed that the sentencing of the two owners in February would mark the end of the Enyobeni case, but that's actually not the case, and that's where we need to start perhaps with the clarification, right?
That is true, Naledi. I mean, that case was a separate matter on its own, and I think there was a bit of a misunderstanding with the public regarding the tavern owners case, because on the 23rd of February, when the sentencing was issued on Vuyokazi and Siyakhangela Ndevu, there was uproar coming from South Africans asking how could they be given such a light sentence, but that sentence was specifically focusing on selling liquor to underage children. Today is when it begins, where the National Prosecuting Authority, who has actually, conducted an inquest into finding out who is actually responsible. Now, if many would remember, during that time when that incident took place on the 26th of June 2022, there was a blame game going on. Fingers pointed in different directions. Parents, the tavern owners, Eastern Cape Gambling Board. Who is responsible? And that's exactly why we are here today. Not just today, Naledi. So this matter is expected to start today up until the 12th of April, that is, looking at who is responsible. Now, you mentioned the various autopsy reports that came out. There were 4 autopsy reports that were issued to the families. Of course, as the media, we were just given an overview, but the families, of course, were given a more detailed. But they were unhappy with the last one, saying that asphyxiation was the main cause of death. And a majority of those families were saying that they are not accepting that as the cause of death. And they're also hoping, of course, to get a bit of closure with this inquest, not just with finding out who should be held liable, but also they're saying that they want the whole truth to come out as to what exactly happened. What exactly happened to those 21 teens that died in June 2022?
Yeah, of course, a lot of questions around whether or not the families are expected to be seen today. Let us know about whether or not we're expecting the families, because, even after that sentencing in February, we had spoken to the families and they were looking forward to this inquest, understanding, of course, that the sentencing really was just about selling alcohol to a minor.
Absolutely, Naledi. We are expecting the families to be here today, as you know that this would be the start of justice for them and closure that they've been waiting for close, almost 2 years, really. So today would be the day that they would actually be here in court. I mean, we've seen them with the court case with the 2 tavern owners, where they were there every single day. So we are expecting them here today. We spoke to one of the family members who represent their family, and they were saying that, they are here, they will be here today, and they are expecting justice, and they want to see the law take its course within this case, and also just for the families to get closure. Because, Naledi, if you remember, even in June 2022, some families were, kind of reluctant within that week to bury their children, because they wanted to bury their children once the final autopsy report came out. But that took time, because the final autopsy report came out in September, so they would not have been able to wait that long. So I guess today is something that we could call the start of justice for these families.
All right, Sipha Kema, our reporter there, speaking to us outside the Mdantsane Magistrates Court there, and she'll be keeping us updated on that story from a very overcast and what seemingly a cold Eastern Cape this morning.